Tiki, I got to tell you, the evolution here. Oh, don't worry, we'll get to the Yankees. But the Mets deserve a lot of love. The evolution of the 2022 Mets has been nothing short of, but I could say amazing. That's the easy, because that's the amazing.
But that would be drawing on history.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily want to do that yet.
Not yet. Nothing short of spectacular. I mean, really, they've gone from interesting to good to dominant. Now I see a tweet from a guy who is always reluctant to stamp his teams here, which you got to respect on some level. It's our buddy Evan Roberts. Here's what Evan tweets yesterday. This is the best Mets team of my lifetime. The best. So I'm going to tell you again, I'm going to tell everybody again what I said about a month or so ago. But now I'm going to up the stakes. You see, this is what happens. I'm going to move the goalpost on you guys.
All right.
If you remember, I said 2 weeks ago, if the Mets don't, maybe even less than that, if the Mets don't at least make the NLCS, failure.
Yes.
And it was kind of split down the middle. So a lot of people agreed, some people disagreed.
It was last week.
It was last week. Well, I'm going to move it. World Series now.
Wow.
Every time they play, I mean, you just listen.
Hey,
this is the year. You got to do it, Mets.
Some people in this room saw this coming, and there's only two of us, so that has to be me. Saw this coming for a while. Remember the comparison I made to the '86 Mets, which was not necessarily this iteration of the Mets could beat the '86 Mets. It was just the similarities in the lore. Right, the iconic, potentially for this season, iconic nature of how this Mets team has come about, and Buck Showalter changing the culture, and Stevie Cohen spending the money, and you just have this elite feel around everything that they're doing, and some guys just working their way into relevance, and others just kind of doing what they're supposed to do. Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso. That you talk about these players and the skip. And the explosion, like this excellence that they certainly are sitting at right now, BT. How can you not? This is if they win the World Series. And again, you raise the bar now, and I'll go there with you. If the Mets win the World Series, get to and win the World Series, how is this not one of the great stories in the history of their franchise? And I know they've had great ones, but this is just amazing because they've been so bad for so many years, and now it's like they can't lose.
I'm going to take it a step further. As you're saying this, I'm actually thinking, I think we've got to extend this beyond the parameters of baseball. Okay?
Okay.
And we could go back a million years, but just for the sake of being somewhat current, yes, the greatest lament of my sporting existence is the 94 Knicks not winning the championship. That's different. That's a different file.
Yeah.
And obviously
but it's different because of who they were stopped by.
But also how they got to that point, the slow ascension, Ewing in his prime and Pat Riley and the rivalries. Like it was a gut punch that I don't know that I could ever feel quite that kind of pain again as a sports fan. I don't know. I look at some other situations where there's been, a real palpable energy toward a certain team, a belief, a conviction, and that team fell short. There are some of them. Obviously, the 01 Yankees, obviously the 03 Yankees, right? You can even say the Mets in 88. There are some teams, but the way this season's going, right? The way it's going, and the way every night there's a new hero, there's an energy. The place, I mean, Queens sounds different. We know the Bronx is burning, Queens is on fire, okay? And if the Mets don't punctuate this season with the ultimate achievement, I think that this is going to go down for many as one of the greatest disappointments in recent memory.
Really?
I do. Because of the emotional investment. We're all invested in our team. We all want our teams to win. You wake up, even when the Jets are terrible and the Giants are terrible, you wake up, it's you're 2-7, but you're like, well, yeah, I know we stink, but if we win 2 or 3 wild card, like you wake up, you put the jersey on, you put your fantasy team in, you make your bets, you go to the games, you tailgate. You're invested because we're always invested with everything we do in the city because we don't know how to half-step it. But the investment from Met fans for this team is unlike anything outside of 86 that I have seen.
Yeah.
It's different. It feels different. It looks different. And they're beginning to process things differently.
Well, it's interesting you say that.
And they should.
Because the expectation has risen. Like every month, there's a different level of the expectation. Like, all right, we want to win the division. We want to blow away the Braves and, put the defending World Series champions in their place, which is rightfully behind us. We are the Mets. Right? Then it becomes, all right, well, let's get to the second or, the third, the NLCS and, be relevant. And then it's now, all right, how about a World Series? Like all of these bars keep becoming the new expectation for this Mets team. It's why if they do win the World Series, and I said this 2 months ago, BT, this team will be remembered. It'll be iconic because of the journey that they've been on. But a disappointment if they don't.
I don't know how you debate that.
Well,
anything's debatable. I don't mean that, but. Just read the tweets from Met fans. Listen to the calls. Listen to the crowd.
But the reason I say
it's different,
it can't be a disappointment because the season has already been so successful, right? It's fun to go.
That's what makes it a disappointment if you don't win.
I mean, I hear that, but I also see this Mets team set up for immediate and future success.
But that's a different conversation.
Of course
I don't even really disagree with that. They seem to be a well-run franchise. You're not wrong there. I'm not talking about 2023 or 2025 when Alvarez might, be an all-star and Beatty's got 29 home runs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about right now. Every fan, the diehards, the devouts, the fans with real energy. Guy twisted in the wind. Oh, this team stinks. I check out. Oh, this team's good. I'm going to jump in. I don't mean those people. Those people. That's fine. You're that kind of fan. That's fine. I mean the diehards. Those who, when they lose a game, like Evan, they flip off that TV
and they're pissed,
and they shuffle their feet and they slink. And I'm not making fun because I've done this as well. Like you just trudge to bed, you're disgusted. Emptiness is a little strong because it is sport, but relative to sport, you're empty. The Met fan has been as fulfilled now as they've been in. Pick a number.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Pick a number.
It's been many years. It's been many, many years. And I hear you, but a disappointment I can't buy because they've been so damn good, man. They've been so exciting. Hell, Vogelback walks up to the milkshake song last night. The place is going crazy.
Everything's working.
Right? That's funny. Just as an aside, you call. I don't know how you knew, but you called that. I think this kid's going to become a cult hero.
Because I just know how we react here.
But
Void had a little bit of that with the Yankees with the three buttons open and the gold chain and the pipes.
But we like that stuff. The only way that happens is if he does what he's doing.
Oh, no question.
15,
but I knew he could hit.
What has he got? 15 hits.
Well, I knew he could hit. That I knew. I knew he was going to hit righties.
Almost 1,000 or over 1,000. Like he's been unbelievable. Yep. Does not crushing home runs, but there's just something about him that makes him fun and interesting and a character. I think that's really what when I think about the memory of the long lasting memory of this Mets team is the characters on this team. There's nobody that you're like, yeah, that guy's just a dude. He's just a guy on the team. Everybody has a character, whether it's the aces, both of them, whether it's the evolution of Diaz with the trumpet playing now and Francisco Lindor living up to this $300+ million contract that everybody thought was an overpay. Now he's close to, he's at least in the conversation for the MVP, at least the second half MVP. Pete Alonso's as a masher. Like there's characters all throughout this roster, which makes them memorable. And if they punctuate it and win a World Series, I don't know how it doesn't go down as one of the great teams in Mets history.
Well, of course it does. We agree with that. The flip side is if you don't punch it home, how is it processed? How is it viewed? It can't be viewed through this complete prism of completion. I know that was redundant. You can't look at it and say whether it's 2 years from now or 10 years from now with unwavering satisfaction. But that's not how we handle it.
I understand that, but you also have to realize that winning a World Series is hard, man.
As evidenced by the last time them doing it back in '86.
That's right. And
not easy.
There's a lot of teams that don't sniff it ever.
I hear you.
And the Mets were that team until this year. Right now, all of a sudden, if they don't win the World Series, it's a disappointment.
That's what I think. That's my opinion. Or at least get to the World Series.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. 877-337-6666. Tiki and Tierney on the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. At 11:20, State of the Yankees. Oh, they are. Ugh. We're going to get Sweeney on the show.
It's the best word you could use.
Why? Yeah, it's like a groan. Brady, why is he pitching? I know. Because options. Because the better option is down to the minors. So we'll talk to a Sweeney later. Hey, day 4, Tiki and Tierney, Judges Chamber Takeover Contest. Another winner coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. But Met fans, you heard it. You heard it. Now, I can't speak for you. I'm just interpreting what I think you're thinking. Tiki gave you what you think, what he thinks you're thinking. I don't know. Let's actually hear what you're thinking. John is in Fanwood on the Fan. What's happening, John? How are you?
Good. What's going on, guys?
All's good, man.
Hey, BT, got to agree with you here, man. I am a lifelong Met fan. I watch every single game. I've been to a bunch of games this year. The energy in Citi Field is unbelievable. I was there in 15 for the World Series, and I'm getting those vibes. The one thing that I will say in 15, they weren't supposed to be there yet, so they were a little ahead of schedule, although, 16, 17, and we all know how that went.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of 15. I remember saying, like, all right, like, we're here, we'll be back, and we haven't been. But this team is they're just so different. There's no other way to say it. You just I have a feeling that I haven't really had yet, and I feel as if they don't go all the way, I will be upset.
The shoot.
Yeah.
This is what I needed to hear out of the shoot. Finally, some common sense. Finally, some integrity. Finally, some honesty. Like, I can't prove this, but I know how I think with certain teams that I root for. I do believe on some level the psychology of fandom is that you almost suppress what you think can happen, even though you think you know you're good enough to make it happen, but because you've been beaten down before, you bury it in I don't want to say the deepest part of your brain.
You almost don't want to believe
You
that
almost because you don't want to.
You don't want to be
You're
disappointed.
conditioning yourself.
Yes.
Yes, it's salvation.
Yeah.
It's like mental.
You're saving the anguish that's going to happen.
You're preemptively addressing something that's going to crush you.
Yes.
If it doesn't come to fruition.
I can see that. I can see that.
That's how we think.
But I can't say disappointment if they don't win a World
Well,
Series.
you don't have to. You're not a Met fan, but Steve is in Cincinnati. I think he disagrees. What's happening, Steve? How are you today?
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, Steve.
Love the show.
Thank you,
Loving
man.
the show. Hey, just a little bit of a disagreement. I will say this. If the season ended yesterday, then I agree completely. Huge disappointment if they don't take it and win the World Series first time since 1986. But there's still so much time left. If the ground goes down, if Scherzer goes down, or Alonso goes down, or Lindor.
Changes everything. No, but Steve, let me say this. God forbid,
go ahead.
if that were to happen, then I would revise what I just said.
Okay.
This is all under the assumption that they're healthy.
Then it's a huge disappointment
Yep.
if they don't win.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just want to put a little asterisk to it there. Loving the team, love the Mets forever. Was in Boston in '86 for Game 6. You want to talk about a city that wanted to slit their throats? It was so awesome. But love you guys. Love the show.
Thank you, Steve.
And,
Appreciate you, man.
Thank
keep
you,
on
man.
rolling, guys.
You got
Go
it,
Big
buddy.
Blue.
Okay, Steve,
Yeah,
you
man.
got it. Steve out in Cincinnati.
I know.
Big Mets fan.
He's obviously a displaced New Yorker, Mets fan,
Yep.
and a big Blue fan. I don't know if he's talking. That's obviously the Giants.
Yeah, I wonder if he's a big Bearcats fan. Got a little Sauce Gardner in the house who's dominating camp.
He's not going green, dude. There was no green mentioned in anything he said.
Let's get Carmine in West Babylon. He's on the Fan, Tiki and Tierney. What up, Carmine?
What's up, Carmine?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Oh,
BT,
Yes.
I'm gonna tear you down here. Listen, I love you, but I think you're looking at this through your Yankee colored goggles here, and I'll explain why. Because you guys are so used to winning every year, and you have that big expectation. Listen, right now at this point of the season, if this was last year, we'd be talking about firing the manager as we always do. I'm enjoying this ride. This team's so fun to watch, and listen. obviously, if we don't get the World Series, will I be disappointed? Sure. I think any fan would be. But I think this is the season where I know we're going to make the playoffs, and I'm just going to have fun enjoying this game. Because I know if we lose, it's not going to be for the fact that we were outmanaged or outclassed. It's going to be that we were beaten by a better team. So I'm going to just jump on the ride, enjoy it, and hope for the best. And if it doesn't happen, we have next year.
Bo. Now you're losing me, dude. It took 3 calls for the buzzkill to officially infiltrate the show. Come on, Carmine.
But hold on. Carmine's not wrong.
You got your closer going viral at 9 million hits with trumpets blaring. I mean, think about what's happening right now. Every move they made has worked out. Everybody. Guys are hitting home runs.
Yep.
Guys are folk heroes.
Naquin doesn't hit home runs. He's hit 3 already.
Yeah, 2 in 1 game.
Exactly.
I mean, everything you touch is turning to gold. You got a manager. You know that's not going to implode. I mean, you can't make any more moves because the trade deadline's gone. But I mean, what? I don't. Oh,
but hold
God,
on,
I
BT,
can't.
What he said is not wrong.
No,
because,
but it is
because what the Mets have done is set themselves up for sustained success.
I don't want to hear about sustained success. I'm talking about this season.
I understand that.
Sustained success, my ass. Scherzer's 38. DeGrom could leave. Stop with the sustained success.
But they are catching lightning in a bottle right now.
You got any more cliches for me?
No, but they are. Sustained success is not a cliche.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
It's a reality. Like that's. I mean, we haven't even seen.
But you know what I'm
saying. We haven't seen Beatty. We haven't seen Francisco Alvarez.
Which is why.
We haven't seen any of those guys.
Which is why you don't know if they're actually as good as advertised, which means there's no guarantee.
Yes, but
you're going to be back.
But there is the optimism that those guys are going to be great. And so if they don't win it, nobody expected. When the season started, did anybody expect it?
That's not the point.
Okay, hold on.
We're so far past that.
Did the New York Mets, did they even believe that they were going to win?
As a pro athlete, you're more equipped to answer that. I would think deep down they would think that had a chance to be a really good team.
Yes.
They don't process it like we do.
Yes.
Oh, if we don't win in the annals of New York City sports, no, they don't think of it like that.
And now they look at what they've built and evolved to, your word, evolved to this season, and they say we are going to try to win a World Series. They didn't spend the money like we thought they should, right? They need a big bat. Go give away some of these prospects. Go get JD Martinez. Go get a 1-year rental. They didn't do any of that. Billy Epper was smart in how he handled the trade deadline because, as you were just mentioning, it all worked out. Everything is working out exactly as they maybe thought it would. That rarely happens. Every little move that you make actually works out. That's working for the Mets. But it also gives you a belief that not only this year, but in future years, those things are going to happen, right? Those things are just going to work out in their favor. So, yeah, I get it. Well, winning a World Series this year would be amazing for the Mets fans. But if, as a Met fan, you know that it is forever changed from that crap that they dealt with for decades.
I can't say that. I think that that's the case. But Met fans have also thought that before. Trust me.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just a different.
I know, but wait.
Different.
It
Mets.
doesn't change until it changes.
That is, they win.
That's what I'm putting on bumper stickers.
I hear you.
It doesn't change until it changes.
See, there you are bringing a Yogi Berra.
And I feel like we're deep in the process of change. And,
clearly.
Okay, so finish the job. And I got.
But if they don't finish the job, it's not a disappointment.
No, it is. No, stop.
It's not.
Stop. Oh God. See, this is the one thing that you're not a Mets fan, so I got to separate you.
You're not a Mets fan.
I understand that. But
you're like.
But I grew up here. I love these. I love the conversation around our teams, and half my family's Met fans. It's just different. All right. And I'm telling you, and I get this a lot. Oh, stop, BT. You starting to. This is how the Yankees think. You're damn right. This is how the Yankees think. It seems to be an erroneous thought process this year. But I mean, what is wrong with thinking like a champion? What is wrong about that? What are you afraid of? Reach out and touch it. Let's go. I mean, you need me to rally you? The guy that you wanted to, I don't know what you wanted to be. Oh, Lindor, this. And I'm telling you, you guys, I don't know if you're going to win. You're good enough to win. And I think many of you know that. But you're afraid to verbalize it. Maybe not afraid. You're reluctant to verbalize it. to tweet it.
You
don't
know why?
be.
You know why?
Why?
Because they don't want to be disappointed.
You got to get over that.
Just saying.
You've been disappointed for a long time, but this will be the big one.